Game 2 of the now late morning up and on the cards. It's the SIUE B team taking on the Eureka College Red Devils here from the Student Fitness Center on the campus of Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. Daniel Rodier, Samuel Murin here for our second of, unfortunately, only 2 games, Sam.
Yeah, while we haven't been streaming all the games, obviously all these teams getting to play a little bit more off camera, and we got to see a little bit of Eureka College right before this game, or a couple games before this one. And they're a good team. They took on Washington University, who we weren't sure was here. Did confirm that. They are here today.
Yep.
And they beat that team swiftly and very quickly.
Yeah, it did not take a whole lot of time. Set 1 was a little quicker than Set 2 in that matchup. Here, these 2 teams have already played 1 match apiece. The SIUE B team took on Missouri State's B team. They won 21-17 and 21-19. On the Eureka side, they very quickly, like we said, dispatched of the Wash U Bears. Both of these teams have played against the Bears, although that's very vague. They've played against 2 separate sets of Bears.
And then
Who put them in the same group?
Then the Bears played the Bears.
Yeah, I was
we got to
really
see that
confused.
one, too.
You're a Chicago fan. You're in the right spot. But other than that, maybe the wrong location. SIUE on the far side, Eureka inconveniently for our cameras on the close side. We apologize for all of you SIUE fans. For all you Eureka fans, you're welcome. 2 dressed liberos there for SIUE. One of them is James Hull. There is Vic Hull as well, who we will more than likely see. Yes, they're related. Yes, they're twins. Yes, they're both 5'8", and yes, they're both juniors. One's the libero, one will be a setter. Here on the Eureka side, that goes to the outside of the line. It actually fell just inside the line. I lied. It's Ignacio Hernandez to get it down, and he will serve. 1 apiece. Somebody's just wearing a T-shirt, by the way. I don't know who that is. Tip over does not get over the net.
Just a side note here, slightly off camera to the left is Eureka's bench, and we were talking about it a little bit earlier. They have quite the squad here for just a visiting team.
They have more players than most Division I programs do. That is of any court sport, by the way. That's a hit that goes off the libero and falls just out of play. Good swing by, I apologize, somebody. They're wearing a T-shirt and did not share with me who that is. So they're going to go by the name of somebody or John Doe until I'm told otherwise. I think we'll try and ask between sets, but until then, no dice. John Doe overserves, and Eureka is able to get that point back.
As we mentioned, Eureka, they've got some big swingers here on this front net line. Something to watch here going forward in the game.
There's Danae Brown. Like, is it Danae or Deny? And they're like, we just call him Brown. It really doesn't matter. I'm like, well, I use the last names on the broadcast that much anyway, so that's perfectly fine. Brown, unfortunately, puts it straight in the net, so I won't say his name for very long. Again, SIU with a slight rarity running 2 liberos. Some teams won't even dress 2 liberos, much less play them both, much less at the same time. Overswing down the middle allows one of the 2 holes to take their effort at serving when they eventually get the ball. As mentioned, he's one of the 2 5'8" juniors with the last name Hall. Good serve, well received though. Big swing off the block. Originally kept up, it will get over. Good defensive effort by the Cougars. Second try for Eureka. That over sends the zip code.
Cougars with their first lead in this one.
And a pretty big lead, no less. Swing from the back line. Here's a setter, Kenyel Vasquez. To serve. Awkward reception. Goes off the upper arm, and a put over is unsuccessful by the aforementioned John Doe. We tried to check on who that is. Apparently they were not on the provided roster either. So they will remain John Doe until at least I walk down there and check. Let's see if Nate looks at me. I don't think so. That one is served just wide. We are under the impression it is Isaiah Hoseter until further notice. That one served wide as well. Jordan Jackson, the one to do so. Exchanging service errors will allow Mason Johnson to go back and serve. Really well received. That may stay in play. It does. That's a really good reception from James Hall. He gets mobbed by both SIUE squads. The A team's got a break for a little bit as Augustana is now in a game against the squad we saw earlier in Western Illinois. That serves from Hoseter, who gets it put back in his face. Side note, by the way, because they're dressing two liberos, they've got a number 12, and I don't have a number 12 on my roster. There is hold to receive. Put back does get kept alive, but Hoseter puts it straight in the net. Lead's extended there for Eureka.
Yeah, Eureka's going to try to build up this lead. Just let SIUE give you some points here on a few errors on their defensive side.
It's really nice when you earn the points. It's a good momentum builder. It's arguably better when they give you the points. You don't have to do a whole lot for it. Big swing goes long. No dice on that front. I believe it's Eli Thornberry, by the way, the other of the two liberos. That's number 12. We'll get clarification on that in just a second. While we're doing that, Ignacio Hernandez is not wasting any time with big swings from the outside.
Yeah, something I mentioned is, like I said, they got some big swings up front, and they're showing them nice and early here.
So you and I were talking about the different rotations teams will run. 2 setters versus 1. Here for Eureka, it is a 6-2. They've got Kenyel Vasquez, who just stepped off and just stepping in to serve. That was Kavehi Kanalai. Kanalea, my apologies. He'll be stuck in the back row for a hot minute. Service error and a one that kind of costs you. Your SIUE. Caleb Ridley, the one to swing there. And again, back to serve is Ignacio Hernandez. They're rotating very quickly on the Eureka side. Good reception. There is the back set. They're looking for Hoseter. Off the joust. They're calling for the net. They won't get it. Miscommunication will be the libero to set in a big swing that will get over. Right down Broadway off the block. That gets down but out of play. SIUE gets the point and brings it to within 1.
Eureka College, you get some size and some groans from the bench there. A few calls that they didn't get going their way.
One of them was for the net. They wanted it on the swing, but because it was on the second reception to keep the ball in play, that's why they don't get the call. The head shakes of no from the Missouri State B team referees. That's a big swing. Even better block. Mason Willingham, the true freshman middle blocker, with the block itself and the point for the Cougars, 11-all here in set 1. Backs it this time. That is kept up and kept over will be the big swing. There's Hull to receive. They'll set it right down the middle and split the upright to the arms of Dyson Vetsky. We'll actually call a reach over the net. SIUE's questioning why that was the point. I think they're saying it's a back row attack from a libero, and I'm not sure if officially he's a libero, but they're saying he is, and Thornberry, I believe, is called for that. There is Thornberry again, off the block and down, so officially he is not a libero. There's your answer. So it is not two dressed liberos for SIUE. There was a question as to whether there was, because, well, two players are wearing a different jersey, and then, as mentioned, Hosteter's wearing a T-shirt because he just likes to confuse us.
Yeah.
That's really rude.
He's going comfortable today.
I mean, good for him, but can you put tape on it or something? I'm really confused, that's for sure. Here is the set to the outside. No easy way to receive that, to be completely honest with you. It's also a decent chance that Hosteter is actually number 24, and I'm just really confused. I am going to walk down there between sets and look at them saying, why didn't you tell me this when I showed you my roster earlier? That's a big swing. That is Jordan Jackson. I'm sure of it this time. The lefty, no less, with the big swing and the point. 13 all. One of the closer matches we've seen across either court today. They'll set it right down Broadway, off the block, then the net, and it's kept up and in play. That time off the block as well, but it does get down. Cougars not able to get that point over. Awkward reception for Hull, still does go his way, and there's just a miscommunication amongst the setter and his cohorts. Aaron Swanson was the one who was ready to swing for that one, didn't get it. Another big swinging serve. That one doesn't even get over the net for Mason Johnson. I think that's his second service error. Cougars a point away from bringing it back to even. Make it 2 points away from bringing it back to even. Dive to keep it alive. No guarantee it'll stay that way. That one does get down in the back corner. What a swing. Another one served out of play there for Eureka. Cougars do get the point. Set over, maybe a miscommunication amongst the Cougars. Really good save, does get put over. But it is a free ball here for the Red Devils. Off the block, kept alive in the back row. Miscommunication, though. They'll call the Cougar point, and it's a net violation on the attack. Valiant effort unsuccessful for the Red Devils, and just too big of a swing from Ignacio Hernandez.
SIUE, they're 1 point shy of tying this game up. You have to wonder if all the service errors at the beginning kind of cost them here.
They'll send it back to the hot hand. That one goes off some part of the body.
That was the right thigh.
Jordan Jackson. Fortunately, it wasn't his face. Either way, it goes out of play. So we've done some internet sleuthing, by the way. Have no idea who
mystery player
the guy in the T-shirt is. I believe his first name's Josiah, although I didn't see a last name on the Instagram. Shout out my girlfriend for internet sleuthing.
Doing the homework.
Into the SIUE lineup. That one did not hit the block. 4 touches is the call, and SIUE back to within 1. So with that being said, we believe that Isaiah Hosteter is number 24. He's listed on the roster as number 6.
He'll serve now.
Eli Thornberry is number 12. He's listed as number 38 for some reason. Again, we'll get clarifications in just a second. That's an awkward swing, but a successful one for Maddox Kluser. And again, Ignacio Hernandez is serving. I don't know how this guy has served 5 times.
Good rotation, Stan. Good rotation.
Apparently. I really want to watch this back and see if they are in proper rotation because personal mindset, I'm almost certain he's been back there one too many times. Maybe it's just the substitutions they've been going with, but whatever it may be. So this is Josiah Doe. It's his temporary last name again until I check between sets. Again, they'll put it to the outside. That's an overswing. Johnson took too much on it. 19 apiece. Reminder, we're playing to 21, and it is best of 2 sets, not best of 3 sets. So every point matters. It's about as close as things can get. Again, outside to Johnson. That's how you make up for the overswing. Set point to the Red Devils here in our first of 2 sets. There is a hard cap of 25. Should we require extra time? If it becomes 24-24, it is
match point. Or your set point.
On the women's side, 4 weeks ago or so, it was a hard cap of 30, but we're not going to need to get that far. Javier Palacio comes in, takes a single serve, and serves out. 21-19, as close as it possibly could have been. And a couple service errors for the Cougars they'd very much like back. It's Eureka with the first set. We'll take a very quick break while I check half the SIUE roster. We'll be back in just a second.
Back here at the fitness center, Sam Mirren, Daniel Rodier about to put his headset back on right here after his trip to the bench. Dan, how was it?
It was very informative. So SIUE is playing with a couple players that were originally listed on their A team. Cade Simmons is wearing number 14. That's our answer there. Number 12 is Chase Fincham, who did play in that other game. He is listed as a libero. And the random guy in a T-shirt, not a random guy, that's Josiah Olden. Overswing does not stay on the SIUE side of the court. A brief break, still successful there for the Red Devils. I'm not sure how much they get to play hopscotch with the 2 teams. I'm almost certain I saw at least Cade Simmons, if not also Chase Fincham in that first game, but no guarantee on that one.
So far, a good start here for the Red Devils. Trying to build off that first set. Again, as we mentioned earlier, kind of one of the closer sets, 21-19.
It was close all the way through as well. That was the more notable part of it for both teams. Absolutely. Everybody had a decent chance of closing it out. Good tap over, better play. It should be a free ball. It awkwardly hits a random wire sitting in the woodwork. However, because it stayed on the Cougar side, it stays a live ball. Here's a set down Broadway and a big swing that does not get down. Second try, does not touch the block. Rolls off the tape and onto the Cougar side, or onto the Red Devil side for a Cougar point. It was Willingham who was ready to take a big swing at it. He didn't even have to.
Yeah, he was looking at it. Eyes on the ball at all times, but no need there.
Here is Chavez with the ace. Pulls the bow and arrow out, and the Cougars bench does
something.
They should get a card for that. There are definitely cards in volleyball. I don't think any referees bring them with, but at least not the club referees, but you should Be a fireable offense. Somebody call HR. That's a great block, by the way. Willingham gets it down. Head taps around. And you were talking about how big the Eureka roster is. The SIUE bench right now consists of both the A and B teams because the SIUE A team just refereed. They played before that, so they've got a break. And they are taking advantage of it by hyping up the B team, and it seems to be working. Chavez has a decent serve, handled well. A rollover shot has to be put up. Second by Hull. Third now by Olden. Back set this time. Big swing off the chest and kept alive. This should be a free ball, but a big swing reaching back over by Miyahara is blocked straight down. What a couple of defensive plays by the Cougars, and somebody's got the choreography going.
That's just a huge defensive stretch there for SIUE. And now you've got a 2-point lead. How can you build off of it?
Chavez has another good serve. That's step one, but splitting to two blockers. There is Miyahara. Here is Hernandez to serve again. All right, everybody write it down. Hernandez is serving. I'm going to count how many servers are between him serving the first time and the next time because I'm almost certain he served out of rotation last time around. That's a really good swing. Right down Broadway by Willingham. True freshman to get it through. And the Cougars now send Josiah Olden back to serve. So Olden just doesn't have a jersey, by the way. They are running two liberos. One of them is Chase Fincham. The other, as mentioned, James Hull. They'll set it back to the outside. Off the block and kept alive. Back set this time, and a miscommunication does get kept up. Hernandez, awkward set forward. First touch is good. Second one better as the bench clears, not in the wrong way. They'll back set it this time off the block, and it does get down that time for Dyson Wetsky.
Just a good defensive push there by the Cougars. Unfortunately, not to lead to a point, but still, you have to like what you're seeing from your team. Got to be a confidence booster for sure.
Good couple of attacking systems as well there for the Eureka Red Devils. Finally able to convert. Here's the libero, Kendall Killens to serve. And a free ball now for the Red Devils to work around. They'll put it all the way to the outside. Johnson gets blocked down. Jordan Jackson alongside Mason Willingham to deny it. The Cougars take a 2-point lead. Now, importantly, we mentioned this on the A-team game. We'll mention it here. It is best of two sets, which means that every point matters. They are tracking the total point differential, then the match, and then the total point differential if it's split sets. So something very much to keep in mind. If it's not split sets, they are still tracking point differential, but it is matches won and then sets won and then point differential total among all the sets you played. So there are your tiebreakers. It is two groups of four on either side. They're calling a net violation on the reach over, they being Missouri State. This group consists of SIUE B team, as you see. Eureka, as they are playing as one full team here. They have split into two teams in a couple previous tournaments, the one previous they played. And the Wash U Bears as well. The other side, Augustana is playing Western Illinois.
Yep.
And then Maryville are the referees.
Cougars A-team got to see Western earlier. See that on Prepcast.
That one's blocked just out of play. Eureka keeps it close-ish. But with how this first set and now the early part of the second set has gone, close is basically no more than 2 points at that general juncture. That's a great set, by the way, from the back row. It's a swing from Jackson. This time around, just out of play. Looked like it went off the block from here, but it's Potter who puts it out of play.
Notably, it feels like the Cougars are doing much better blocking the offensive pushes here from the Red Devils, as well as they're getting some luck of the shots going just out of play as well.
That one does not go out of play. Ignacio Hernandez takes a big swing and gets it down. Here's Maddox Klusner on the serve, and Olden just to put it over. Another big swing off the block, and it's another one out of play. Olden had his arm to it, but did not get anything past just the arm. Again, Klusner serves. They'll go back for Olden, who takes a big swing. That one's just out of play. They're asking for a tip, and they won't get it, nor will they get the ball just beyond the line. Klusner still serves, and now serves to take the lead. They'll go back to Olden, try and make up for lost time. And again, outside, off the block, kept alive just barely and kept in play. Will be a free ball for the Cougars, but off a good defensive stand for the Red Devils. Back set this time for Jackson, no good. Attacking out of system now are the Red Devils, but they do so at least competently. Back out for Olden, he hits the net. Very easily going to be a Red Devil point. I could have called that from here, much less from 4 feet in front of the referee's face. And it is now the lead for the Red Devils, and notably, they didn't have to do anything for it.
Again, just another team error. You see another one here, this time from the Red Devils.
Anything you can do, we can do on the serve. I think that's how that song goes, right?
Something like that.
Something along those lines. Aaron Swanson now to serve, the 5'10 junior middle blocker on the back row. Well received. Set to the outside. It was Hernandez to put it over, but he just had to tap it up. Here's Olden off the block. Set this time again from Killens. An overswing from Hernandez puts it straight in the net. This game has stayed as close as it possibly can be. Cougars, if they win by 3 in this set, will win the match. That one gets down, and this one stays as close as it has been, courtesy of Miyahara. There's no guarantee these teams are going to separate by the time we hit 25 points. There is an outside chance Eureka wins this set by 1, or even SIUE wins this set by 1, and can still, SIUE would lose the match in that case. Any win by 2 scenario would either tie it up or give that 2-0 advantage to the Red Devils. Set over in a pancake just to keep it alive. Set to the outside. The non-dominant right hand of Jordan Jackson was just not enough. And when you've got a left-handed right side, the setters need to realize you're setting to the inside of the body, not the outside of the body.
Yeah, it was just a bit over his reach anyway. Probably for the right hand as well.
Well, when you've got that body turned inside for the left-handed swing, you've got to reorient your body, and you've got to reorient the way you're getting ready to swing at the ball. It's a whole thing, especially for an outside hitter or a right side in that case. Surprised he's not more on the opposite, especially as a lefty. But some teams would rather have their dominant hands in the interior rather than the exterior. To each their own. Here is the interior and a big swing that goes out of play. There's a miscommunication amongst our officials. The referee calling a tip. And I'm not sure.
Not sure where he saw the tip either. Cougars argue with him.
Well, the
doesn't really matter.
Close side line judge said it was out. If it was out and off a tip, it's a Eureka point. But if it's out and not off a tip, which I thought it was, it should have been an SIUE point. But take that the way you will. On a couple dives, that one's unsuccessful. Eureka with back-to-back points. And I don't know if you saw this just off the side of your screen. It is very much in frame, so you should have. It was the referee tapping his chest saying, "That's my call. I saw a tip." So that would be the context there. Not too surprising. Here is Hernandez again to serve. Took a little longer than I thought it would take. There's that left hand of Jackson, this time on the left side of the net. And a big swing from Mason Johnson gets it down. Few points, back to back to back. Still with Hernandez serving.
Yeah, this is the largest lead Eureka's had since the beginning of the game.
Really, since the beginning of set 1, to be completely honest with you. It has been as close as things can get for most of this match in its entirety. Set it straight up for Olden. Off the block, and Just not well received by Michael Chavez. 4 consecutive points for the Red Devils. And the Cougars running out of time to try and win this match. They can only afford to give up 2 more points, and they'd have to win out other than that to take the match. Olden receives. Setter has to get all the way over there. Puts over a free ball here for Eureka. Johnson again. One-handed save by Hull. Keeps it alive. And Olden right down the line. What a swing. What is it Happy Gilmore just said? Tap it in. In that case, he tapped it over.
A perfect read. Try to get the momentum back on your side of things.
And he serves. That one's on the line. That's a Cougar point.
Good serve there. Back-to-back good plays by the man in the gray shirt. I know he has a name now, but I think that's his official title and position.
That or John Doe?
Or John Doe.
I really like John Doe. That's a swing that goes off the net, but it does get down. Eureka with the point. They're 2 away from guaranteeing themselves a tied match, 3 from the win. Again, the match is the first, then the sets, then point differential. Just a dive to keep it alive, and that's a mistake the Cougars can ill afford at this point in the set, much less the match. Eureka's serving for a guaranteed tie. More specifically, Kendall Killens is. The libero does get it over. Well received by Olden. Back set again. Jackson just had to throw it off the net, or throw it off the block. They wanted a lift. They being Eureka, they won't get it.
It was a great play there. Again, the left-hand swinger throws it off the body of the blocker.
Sometimes that's a target you're aiming for rather than the opposite side of the court. Off the block, that one gets down on the Cougar side. That is the guaranteed match tie for Eureka. And again, back to serve to try and close it. Actually, not anymore. It was going to be Javier Palacio back to serve. Instead, it'll be Kenyel Vasquez Ortiz to go back and serve to win it. Again, this is for the match win. Set win is at 21, should they get there. Outside and a rollover just to get it over. Big save by Olden, does get over, and an over swing. My goodness. Mason Johnson was swinging for Missouri. He got it there, but he did not get it down. 3-point differential the Cougars now need to make up. They would have to win out to tie the match, and they can't do so. There's the guaranteed match win for Eureka. It's off the back of a service error by Jordan Jackson. Here's Mason Johnson serving for the set as well. Add insult to injury for the Cougar B team. They will. Great block by Maddox Klusner. And a couple head taps later for the Red Devils. It's Eureka to take it. SIUE, when they were watching the first Eureka matchup, they were saying this is not a team we want to be facing. They were the referees of that game. They looked a lot better than maybe they thought they would have in this matchup. They've already got one 2-0 victory, but Eureka now has 2. They lead Group B here on Court B in a pretty big win, especially to close it out 21-16 in set 2 as well.
Absolutely. I thought this was a really good game for both sides. I thought the Cougars had a great start to the second set and might have gotten back into the match. Unfortunately, I think a few missed self-plays that led to errors, as well as a few calls that didn't go your way by the official, led to a bit of a collapse.
Yeah, especially in set 2 where you're kind of banking on some of those close plays to go your way. Although there are a couple mistakes that they certainly made that they can certainly say, yeah, maybe that 1 or 2 calls cost us. They cost you 1 or 2 points. The remaining points still very much went against you. And it was the Eureka overkill on the attacking side that really went in their favor. 21-19, 21-16, and it's 2-0 for the Red Devils. The Cougars fall to 2-2 in sets, 1-1 in matches here in Group B. The Cougar A team is doing fine over on Court A, but that's